So CBS Evening News has officially launched with its new anchor, Toprah Dokoupil. That's what I call him because he's crying and constantly trying to therapize us through the news.
Tony Markle.
I've figured it out. So like Barry she's an out lesbian and she's in a marriage to another woman.
I knew this is where you were
and
going.
They have kids and so on. I'm saying this is a lesbian's idea of what women want. Like, he's sweet, he's soft. Like, this is going to sell. No. We want someone with balls, with a spine, someone who will protect us, somebody who, like, when the burglar comes, will be the first out the door. They won't be hiding behind us. Like, as we call it in my family, first defender. Whenever Doug and I go on the road, whether it's like a hotel or like a rental, he knows he has to be first defender, and he's perfectly fine in that role. Toprah Dokoupil is not first defender. It's very clear, and already it's failing. I'll give you the numbers in a second, but first I just want to play you a soundbite of him trying to do the news the other night. I'm looking for it on my SOT.
Is this the
shift.
Miami
you have
one?
It, Steve?
This is
yeah. Oh, it's SOT 1. Okay, yeah. Listen to this, SOT 1. This is his Tuesday night sign off.
We are not even 2 weeks now into the new year, and it feels like a decade has passed. The U.S. captured Venezuela's former president, Nicolas Maduro. Reports are that as many as 12,000 protesters have been killed by Iran's government as Trump weighs intervention. Anti-ICE protesters have taken to the streets of Minneapolis after the shooting death of Renee Nicole Good. And tonight, we walked into not one but two exclusive news-making conversations. The CEO of General Motors on the future of American-made cars, and the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, on the questions that matter most. You may not agree with everything you hear on this broadcast, but we trust you to listen, and we trust you to decide for yourself.
Oh my God, the patronization. He's giving Stuart Smiley vibes. We're good enough, we're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like us. I cannot get over how he continues to patronize the audience. Like, oh, you know what? You may not agree with us on everything, but that's okay. You don't have to. We're going to make sure you have just fucking deliver the news. You have 19 minutes of content. Get up and down on the news and stop trying to handhold your audience like they're a bunch of babies who need you to stroke them through every update. And the summary at the end of all the big stories that he's handling, we walked right into, okay, he got a stand-up passing interview with Donald Trump, which literally everybody in news gets every day who is on Air Force One. He's trying to spin it as some big get. And this, Emily, is why the ratings are down since he took over. Year over year, they are down 23% from the same time last year in both the overall number and in the key advertising demo of 25 to 54-year-olds. So they have lost 1/4 of their audience since launching with Toprah. And he's also down from the debut of the previous hosts, John Dickerson and Maurice Dubois, who averaged much higher numbers than he did. So it's not going well over at CBS. And if they were smart, they would listen to yours truly and other critics about the many, many things they're doing wrong. But I'm kind of also not rooting for them to listen because it's fun to watch.
It's getting increasingly fun to watch now. Also, in addition to those numbers, so NBC and ABC were also down year over year, but by 9%. CBS is down 23%, as you just mentioned. So when your competitors, you're putting all of this money into a splashy advertising debut and campaign, and you're actually down double digits more than your competitors year over year. I mean, we all know the medium of nightly news is dying, and what we're seeing at CBS is not a digital first pivot. And I mean, the kind of grand theory of why this is failing is that everybody wants their news to be delivered with authenticity, transparency. They kind of want to know where people are coming from when they give them the news, to treat them like adults and say, you're smart enough to figure this out on your own. I don't need to handhold you. I don't need to remind you of every story that was covered in the last week. Like, what the hell was he doing there? They're trying to they're trying to punctuate their coverage with this profundity, with their like musings from Manhattan or from their newsroom on what's happening. I don't care that they were out on the road. That doesn't really make much of a difference. They all live in the same, 10 square miles and make roughly the same amount of money. And they're telling the American people, things are really tense right now. Yes, that's why we're watching your show, so that you use your breath telling us actually what's happening.
It's off, Emily. He thinks he's in podcast landia. It's different. I was very different doing the Kelly File than I am doing this show, and certainly doing an evening news show. The attempt to Oprahify us is very off. It does not work, and it hell no will not work on CBS, which is where like the most serious, somber news consumers go for their news. They do not want Toprah. He's got to man up and stop doing this. I'm sorry, but Barry has zero television experience. Zero. It's called broadcast news for a reason. The broadcast piece of it matters, and she doesn't know what she's doing. It shows. The New York Times just did an in-depth piece on her that reports her mission is, and I quote, "We need to be the news." That's her new mandate over at CBS. That's every reporter's worst nightmare. That now it makes sense why Toprah is tweeting out pictures of himself or videos crying uncontrollably over the fact that he didn't get to grow up in Miami. He wanted to be the news. That's every reporter's worst nightmare, for you to turn into the news story. The news is the news. Be respectful of the audience at home and stop with the damn navel gazing. Me is sad about Miami. Me is exhausted from all the news I've had to deliver. Me will hold your hand and get you through this news by telling you what the facts are. Me understands. You can hear both sides. Stop. It's nonstop opinion, and it's egocentric.
But it's not even interesting opinion. I mean, I think that's where they're going like dramatically wrong, is that nobody believes that Tony Dokupil is just this guy who has the voice of God and can tell you what's important and what's not, and just it's not infected by his own personal biases or anything like that. He's pretending, though. That's the problem. And this is what all the other networks do wrong too, is that they're pretending that they still are able to just call balls and strikes from a neutral perspective, and that they're not bringing all their own worldviews and baggage to the situation. So it's not like it's an easy transition to make, but I think the best example, I always use this example, is like, how is Stephen Colbert, how was he during Trump's first administration the most successful guy in late night news, despite being late night comedy, despite being the most partisan by far, the most alienating, the most partisan, the least funny, again, by far. It's the opposite of what Johnny Carson did, because Johnny Carson was political, just not partisan. You didn't know where he came down, but he didn't shy away from politics. And the answer is that in order to be successful, when there's so, you're trying to get 3 million instead of 12 million people to watch, is you have to you have to find a niche audience. And the niche audience is not mushy middle bullshit that's lying to viewers and pretending that it's not coming from a perspective. And that's dead. But they're trying to do both of those things. And you're trying to do new media with this old media veneer. And it's more than a veneer.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, it won't. It definitely won't.
It cannot happen. I mean, what people want in this lane over here is authenticity. Yes. And what they want over there is just hard news done in 19 minutes and goodbye. They don't care about you, the anchor. They really don't. You need to be as small a factor in the news delivery as humanly possible. He's just doing it wrong for evening news, especially on CBS. And this is apparently at the direction of his boss, who says we need to be the news. And according to the New York Times, the quote that she also said was, "Let's make sure every single night has something with viral potential." All I could think of was the girl in Jumanji who's like, "Oh my God, it's insane that we're not filming this." Like, what? That you want to go just do the news. The news is the star, which she doesn't understand because she's not been in news very long, and she's had zero experience in broadcast news. And he's going along with it. They report that she has been deeply frustrated by the negative reaction to her decisions and has blamed subordinates for not staunching the criticism. That's not going to go well either. The buck stops with you as the network executive. And if you make yourself the news, be prepared to be deeply frustrated with how you are covered, because what you'll soon find out is that nobody who writes about the news is rooting for you. They're just not. That's the way news is. We're all hardest on one another. It's sad, but it's true. And look, she put herself out there and decided to make herself the headlines. This is what comes with that. A new year means new financial goals like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898 to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.